Peace, family. How you all doing? I hope everybody is having a good day so far. I'm recording the Sagittarius Super Full Moon video today. My name is Keisha. I'm the owner of A Way of Life. I am a career and business coach using astrology. So, the Sagittarius full moon happens on June 14th. This is a quest for truth by expanding your horizons, getting out of your comfort zone, and going on an adventure in some way, shape, or form. That adventure literally could be about anything in any kind of way. It really depends on where Sagittarius is in your chart. But full moons tend to bring things to light, especially around things that are not what they seem. Unfortunately, this can show up in deceptive ways, like deception, lies, secrets, confusion. There's definitely going to be something around politics, legislation, and law here. We can see a lot of things like the Johnny Depp court case and some other things coming out at this time. This is also international affairs, so in some way, shape, or form, this is going to have something to do with Libra. And since Putin is a Libra, I can only imagine that we'll hear something about the war now, obviously. What's going on with that, the remnants of that, I can only imagine. I have seen some TikTok videos, but I'm always iffy on what's real and what's not. But I can imagine that there will be a lot of things about what is going on over there coming out at this time. And import and export. We'll hear a lot about that as well. I know we was having a lot of issues with that. During the pandemic, it was a lot stronger. And then I think it had cleared up a little bit, or they just stopped talking about it. And I feel like it's gotten worse now, because I don't know about anybody else, but I've tried to get some stuff on Amazon and I still have not received my order. And that almost never happens with Amazon anyways. So very interesting there. And I know that China's got some stuff going on that they talk about here and there, but again, it's not really clear what's real and what's not. And so it's been interesting to not have received my order. But, like I said, I think a lot more of this stuff will come out at this time. And I really hope that we're all paying attention to the culture of this country and the repetitive things that keep coming up every single year. Not even just talking about astrology, although I can bring the astrology up and pinpoint every single time. Like the mass shootings with these kids and their behaviors. And I posted a lot about this. People might want to really check out the ISIS papers written by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. But in a nutshell, I was listening to Red Pill and Blue Pill on Brother Rich's channel, and I've talked about them here before. And I thought that they bring up a really good or interesting point about, these guys who are doing this, not really looking at it from a blame, but really checking their culture. This is who these people are, right? And so what they explained was that the reason why these boys do this is because they see Black people or colored people as inferiority to their race. So these are the people who don't typically get to be seen, or they're considered weird or awkward, or the unchosen ones, if you will, because of their weird and awkwardness. And they just have a lot of time to sit back on the internet, you know, and watch everything that's going on. So they kind of have a different perspective mentally about the world and what they see, which is very much about what Jupiter is your morals, your ethics, your culture, and your worldview, right? And so in their mind, culturally, what they're thinking is that it's called white fragility. Go read the ISIS papers from Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. And what she explains very in depthly in that documentary is that these guys are afraid of being um, like Black people. You know, once we start commingling with any race, it doesn't matter what the race is, we assume, you know, they assume our race. And so to them, they see this as the end of their culture, the end of their being who they are. And so they go out and they take care of it the best way they know how, which is through violence, right? I mean, we know that through slavery, right? And slavery, quite frankly, in my opinion, is done for the same reasons. You know, they are very afraid of the power that we have in the melanin, right? And so um, when we see these things coming up, it's important to have a deeper understanding of this and not just an opinion, which is the lower vibrations of Sagittarius, right? Um, and so, you know, paying attention to break free from the illusion that this is how they sell it when they put it on the news and stuff like that. You know, whatever that story is, I have absolutely no clue. I don't watch it anymore, but I know it's all the same, right? The cops are shooting them because they're afraid. They thought they had a gun. You know, their life is in danger. You know, this is all about fear, inferiority, and things of that nature. Or the bully or the person who got beat up by the bully as a young child, they grow up to be police officers so that they can inject the fear of bullying that they got done to them, right? It's kind of this theme here that kind of has been playing out, I mean, for a long time now. And the reason why they don't get to go to prison, or, you know, something always seems to happen where they kind of get freed in some way. Meanwhile, other people, other cultures, specifically Black, they get 10, 15 years for specific things. And the reason for that is because that's their culture, that's their beliefs, and they're going to support each other no matter what. And the more you learn this and understand this, you know why it's so important to fight back and not give up and not follow along with, you know, these the news and the information you got going on, because now you are literally embodying a culture that has everything to do with you not winning. And then you wonder why, you know, mentally we are still fucked up in the game and can't move past a certain level, because, you know, we are not assuming our own culture. In fact, we do exactly the opposite and we reject our own culture. It's not cool to be smart or intelligent. It's not cool to be, you know, wealthy and all these other things that, you know, we talk about, quite frankly, a lot here on this channel. You know, and that's kind of what we're going to be getting clear from in this, especially because the ruling planet of Jupiter is in the sign of Aries. And now I did a whole bunch of work about Aries, and I hope that people are beginning to understand why we are at war. The silent war is blatantly in front of your eyes now. If you haven't gotten a clear picture, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get it now. You're going to be like, oh, why didn't I see it that way? Starting with this full moon all the way to the 28th is going to get stronger, and it'll be that way all the way until December 3rd. And I'll talk more about that in just a minute. But I think those are the things that we really need to look out for, because it's going to help us heal. It's going to help us change our life and change our worldview, perspective, and actual, you know, our life in general. So like, share, subscribe, family, if you haven't already. Please share this information with others if you feel like you find something from this, you get anything from it. We appreciate you in advance, and also make sure you hit the notifications bell so that you can be notified every time we go live, family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so Sagittarius rules philosophy, spirituality, spiritual practices, worldviews, international things, different cultures, language, international business, international travel, just travel in general, but long distance travel specifically, immigration, passports, law, and borders, education, the student and the teacher, wisdom, freedom, truth, justice, optimism, good luck, and growth, expansion to be a little bit more specific. Publishing, writing, blogging, speaking, and any kind of content creator, to be honest with you, can be considered something Jupiterian, but specifically broadcasting. So somebody who does like YouTube videos and things of that nature. This full moon is a mutable, will have a mutable T-square. So the sun is in Gemini. The moon is in Sagittarius, and the T-square is in to Neptune in Pisces. And so Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Virgo will feel this the most. Those are the mutable signs. And the mutable T-square tends to support the learning environment, you know, and have a greater, you may have a greater adaptability to anything, honestly. Just being able to be adaptable, flexible, think outside the box, creative, and the drive to learn something new. I think that's going to be the most important piece during this time to get the full effects of what it has to offer during this Gemini season. At other times, this energy can show up in other ways, but specifically with Gemini, with Sag, it's about learning something new. This is also the same theme that we had at the end of 2020 when Neptune went into Pisces. I did a lot of videos talking about what we could expect for this time. So we got another chance to repeat, go over, reenact, rethink, review, reevaluate, or you're getting more pieces to that story and what has happened up until now, which I think is really great, because ultimately in the short, this is about expanding your dreams, right? And what does that mean for you? What are your dreams? Getting clear on that and continuously building on that. So I think a lot of people will start to get a lot of ideas and thoughts and things around what that is for you. So think about what was happening for you back at that time, and you can see a lot of completions for that. I actually was thinking about it myself and realized at the end of 2020, I had made the decision to leave my job, and then I finally did right around this time, actually, last year. I finally let go, and then I am having the completion of the business and all the stuff that I was working on simultaneously as I was working, which, as I'm sure all my business people who have jobs know the struggle of that, right? It's really, really hard and scary. Shit, let's keep it all the way 100 because you don't know where the next money's coming in, and you know, so that was a risk. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I recommend it to anybody. Yeah, you know. You gotta use your own discretion on that. It would be best if you had money and you were prepared, right? So savings obviously becomes super important on this journey if you're in those shoes. But and here I am though, you know, I made it, I survived barely, just barely, family, especially being stingy, because I definitely did have the money, but mentally I'm already so rigid when it comes to saving because it's new. And it's certainly not something that I've gained over years. It's not like my family were teaching these types of things, although they did in very different ways. I actually thanked my father today for being so cheap, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be so good at saving money today. I could ask for 50 cents and he's like, "Where you want it for?" I had to thank him for that today. I was like, yeah, I owe you a thank you for that, because that is a skill. That is something that you will not learn anywhere else. Those things come from generational mindsets, culture, beliefs, values that are passed down from generation to generation. So we got to keep that in mind. The culture piece is very important for this full moon. So teaching your family what no matter how big or small you think it is, family, give it away. Give it away. All right, so the square to Neptune can bring confusion, deception, uncertainty, security issues, and make you feel very sensitive. So you can take things very personally at this time. And vice versa, people might be on the opposite end of that. So if you have some strong opinions and things around your culture or cultural beliefs or worldviews, these are like, how people will say, don't have conversations around politics if you want it to be a cordial one. Try to stay away from politics and religion. This is a Sagittarius theme. So you want to stay away from those topics, because it can get very heated with Jupiter and Aries, and Jupiter is the ruling planet of Sagittarius. So Jupiter and Aries is real fired up right now, real fired up, and it can be like a mass shooting, not literally, but where somebody feels threatened by you and your views if they are not in alignment with theirs, or they feel like you're imposing on them, and it can turn into something like that crazy. So, this can also bring mass shootings to religious places and things of that nature, for that very same understanding, that there's some kind of inferiority that is imposing on these people, that kind of make them go out and think that they need to rid the world, if you will, of people like such. So, just something else to keep in mind, family. It can also bring doubt, and you can question reality more and want answers. So seeking answers, like I was talking about at the beginning, is about looking for the truth. And with that Scorpio South Node energy, you can really tap in and focus enough and narrow in on this information and really get some serious truths, especially during this Gemini season, with that energy to be curious, open, and flexible about learning something new. So take advantage of this energy. It will change your life, family. It really, truly will. This is a big, expansive time with Jupiter being in Pisces and now Aries. And when you push further than you're used to, it's a good feeling at first, but then you can start to second guess yourselves, like asking if you're doing too much. Did you push too hard? Are you going too far? Am I too vulnerable? Did I go too big? And this can make you second guess your dreams, advancements, and any great projects that you got going on. So remember, if you find yourself in that position, to try to sit back, hold off. Maybe you just need a break, spend time with family, get outside, take a walk, go inward, tap into that Pisces meditative energy, where you can just sit and kind of think things through, or take your mind off of it and do something else, in order to give yourself time to find the strength, the faith to get through whatever it is you may be feeling. But, there may be the need to believe again, or you'll begin to realize you're not seeing things clearly. And I think that right there is the key, that we are not seeing things clearly, because that's kind of what this world really is meant to do in a bigger sense. You know, we don't have many things in this world that support positivity in a way that says, hey, don't be afraid to go for your dreams. You know, unless you surround yourself intentionally with those things, you might not feel that way. If you're still at a job and your boss sucks, your hours suck, you rather be at home, you got kids and other things that you could be dealing with, but you can't because you got to work. You know, those types of dysfunctional suppressive systems are still kind of weighing in on us at this time, even though we're trying to break free from them. And so the breaking free can be like, oh, did I do the wrong thing? Did I make a mistake? But you are not. You are not. Um, and so this can be a really strong pull to the past, even though we know it's oppressive and toxic. Literally, it's like the devil that you know type of idea here, where we're just comfortable with doing the things that we've been doing because, you know, that's safe, right? Especially around Sagittarius themes like self-righteous ways, toxic judgments towards people's beliefs, their background, origin, and ethnicity. This is going to get worse. I really, really do think that this has the ability to get real raunchy and ratchet with Jupiter being in Aries. I'm actually really surprised that we haven't seen anything yet. Although I shouldn't say that because I really don't watch TV and I don't know that to be true for sure, but I can only imagine. This could also be like toxic race conversations, darker legal situations. I mentioned the Johnny Depp case. We can see a lot more stuff like this coming out right now, right? Especially around relationships. Jupiter is the husband in astrology. And so this definitely is related to relationships. Anytime I'm and with Jupiter and Mars, you know, might be on a little bit of a break of being a husband or want to be a little bit more um, free and not bogged down. So, you know, be careful, be mindful of the relationships that you're in. And you would know. I mean, this isn't going to be something that you're going to have to guess. You'd know if your significant other is thinking about cheating, trust me. Um, and even if you don't and you feel like you're good and you're not, you're going to find out, right? And I'm not wishing that on anybody, but this is definitely something that can come up. And it can also be something that doesn't have anything to do with cheating, but more so like the lack of connectivity, or emotional connection, companionship. It's just sex. You know, sex is the connector here. So some things like this can kind of come in. I'm going to do some more stuff on this because Mars is really expanded here. And so people, you have to be mindful for STDs and, you know, this sex with all different kinds of partners. I talked about all this in all those videos. So if you need a refresher, go back and check them out because they are going to start to, I would imagine that now people are starting to feel that Aries and Jupiter energy, especially now that Mars is in its own sign. Yeah. Crime can be a topic of something coming up here in news and stories about immigration, immigrants, um, papers, you know, illegals, borders, right? The cultural divide. I think I talked about this a while back too, that, you know, we're going to start to see the breaking up of countries, especially with the war. I know that that's what normally in most cases, that's what war kind of causes, is the division of a specific place. So there might not be no such thing as, where's the war? I don't know. I should probably know that, but I don't care. So I don't know, but there may not be that city might not exist anymore because of this war. And so it'll turn into something else or get another name, or you know what I mean? It causes a relocation in some way, shape, or form, which is a divide, a division of something, a country, a state, a border, that's what this Mars can be because of the destruction. Or it could literally be cultures dividing where, we're fighting back and forth with each other. My culture is this, my culture is that. And now we're divided because of our cultural differences. It can be stuff like that. The rights of oppressed people, being mindful of the connections that you make because of these things is going to be really, really, really important to make sure that everybody's all on the same page. And then we have the stellium of Pisces at the beginning of this year that we had is also being highlighted at this time. So think back to the beginning of the year and what was going on for you, what was coming up for you, especially around what do you believe, what are your beliefs, do you believe in the narrative of this world, do you believe the direction of this country and their culture and their beliefs? And be careful for being rocked back to sleep. They might come up with something, especially with 4th of July coming up, that we're here for the people. They do these same political themes every single year, and we fall for them every single year. And I think the one that we should really be mindful of, not that we can do anything about it, it's just being mindful, is the cultural thing. So now that all the people and with the war can come here, and what they do is they try to play God to these people, right? They want to feel important. And so they allow them to come here with rights and giving them money and things of that nature. Meanwhile, the people right here already in this country are struggling because they're giving money to another culture to come in here, but they use those people to keep their culture alive. I talked about this in another video, and it's very important to watch for those types of things. If you see them, do the opposite. Stop supporting this country and the things that they do when they don't give back to you, your community, and your expectations in this world. And make them yourself. Build with your family. You don't have family? Find a family that you can. Because with this recession coming up, look, man, it's not going to be a good time for a lot of us. It's really, really, really not. And if we don't have somebody or something to help us through this time, a lot of people are not going to do well. They're not. So, now thank God for the sun trine Saturn, because Saturn's going to keep us from falling off track. It's going to keep us honest and keep us on track. Although Saturn is retrograde, and if you haven't checked out that video, go check that video out too, which is literally the opposite of Saturn being structured, but it's an outer planet. So anytime you have an outer planet, it's not as strong because the outer planets are further away from the Earth. And so they never really lose focus, right? In the way that Saturn's not going to be there to support you. Now, again, don't get me wrong. We are all feeling this. I know I certainly have. But Saturn is still going to give you the support you need to stay structured. Remember, that was the precipice in that Saturn return video, is that you can take the vacation if you want, but you still have to force yourself to stay focused, because if you don't, you won't get the long-term gains and long-term impact from Saturn. That's what Saturn wants to do. It wants to bring long-term gains for long-term impact, support, and discipline. Taking life seriously, committing to something or someone. Congratulations if you're getting married out there, and knowing what to commit to. So I like that for this, because we're going to need it. We're going to need it. And then Mercury will trine Pluto. This is the ability to transform how you communicate And your focus will be enhanced with that Pluto energy, which is really good. And I think we're going to need that too, going back to the study piece, which is very mercurial, just being open to learn to things, having that support, especially this is on the 14th, the day before Mercury moves back into Gemini. So anything that we were dealing with, reevaluating from that retrograde, we still have time to go back and overlook those things for the next couple of weeks with that Mercury and Gemini energy before we even start to move on to some of the newer stuff, which I really think people are going to be happy for. I know I am, because I've been doing nothing but going back and literally doing everything over that I tried to avoid, which I don't want to talk about it because I might start swearing, and it's not that deep. But I need it though. Like I need this additional time to go back. So I'm happy for it. And then I was really debating whether or not to add this into the video today, because I'm really trying to stop doing really long videos because I know people don't got all day. But I needed a pick-me-up. So I was searching and looking for answers, just like it said at the beginning. I needed to know that there was something else more, because what was happening at the current time was pissing me off. So, so I did look into what other transits could be helping towards all of this energy. And Neptune will be going retrograde on the 28th of June to December 3rd. And Neptune being I feel like it being in its own sign, we have so much potential. Like everything is always on time. That's what I got the most out of this, that I'm grateful that we're having this. But I think essentially, if this doesn't give you some kind of faith or hope, it's literally going to clear out all the bullshit in your life. So Neptune in retrograde is like the rose-colored glasses come off and we see things for what they really are. So the entire world has a truth spell on it, and we'll see many truths, a lot of rapid spiritual development. We can fill in the blanks of stories and narratives that maybe perhaps we couldn't before, as well as any information we may need to get on any journey we're on to follow more easily. Oh my God. If this doesn't bring you all sorts of life, I don't know what will. I was like, yes, I needed this, you guys. So things tend to come out into the open when Neptune is retrograde. This can be about mystery solving, clearing out any fogginess, lack of clarity, lack of direction, illusions, delusions, addictions. Oh my God, if you've been having lack of sleep, you're gonna get more sleep, which I, for one, could really use here. But things that have been difficult to find or navigate on your path will become a lot easier and clearer. You will see people for who they are more easily, and vice versa. People will see who you are more easily. And this doesn't have to be a back and forth thing where it causes some kind of opposition, but it's going to, again, allow to clear out things that don't need to be there, right? So we don't have to worry about people projecting on us their fears and insecurities and things of that nature. People are just they're not going to have the wherewithal to hold up their lies anymore, right? So they're just going to give up. This can also come as a deformation of character or mistaken identity, meaning a lot of things, and people who don't communicate well may run from you if you are somebody who does communicate well, or or you'll be able to find your words so that you can communicate well. So that, again, this is all about getting clarity on your goals and dreams so that you can cut away the fat, if you will, the things that you don't need, so that you can move through these dreams and goals more easily. Now you can say what you mean and mean what you say, but others who are not good with communication will run for sure, and it will clear up the confusion. This also allows for advancement and the visibility of it too. It's not just like, I got a dream, I gotta go, I'm gonna do this today. And you might not see the proceeds of that until 2 weeks later. And I'm just giving an example. It could be any amount of time. It depends on what it is, but it won't be like that with this. Things are gonna speed up a little bit more, in a sense, because of the clarity, not so much speed up time-wise. But also anything coming up from this full moon, which is square Jupiter, just remember, come the end of the month, you may not have the clarity, but you're going to get it. So just let things play out the way that they need to. That's karma, try not to react, but look for answers or other ways of dealing with things. And trust me, as you do that energy, you're going to feel that clarity coming in for you. Nothing will be hidden during this time. You'll find truths and things that have been ignored that will change your perception of people and circumstances you thought you knew. That is very important. If you had a perception about somebody, especially since back in April, that you thought was on the wrong side of something, hell, it could be on the right side of something, this will become clear at this time. Lies, deceit will become more clear. An opposition, an opposite side of this is if you're trying to surprise somebody or do a surprise or keep a secret for keepsake, you might not be able to do it. People might not be able to keep a secret at this time. As that's the benefit of that energy. It's unfortunate, but with every good thing there comes a consequence. So that's just what it is. And then this could also be the supernatural experiences, phenomena, stuff, and spirituality coming up quite heavily here. So if you hear a lot of ghost stories, or people having premonitions or worldly views or world premonitions, like the psychics do, things like that, or your calling gets stronger. If you have a calling, some kind of spiritual practice, your faith gets stronger and things of that nature. So I liked this. I needed this. So I selfishly incorporated this in, because I really needed to feel better about how I was feeling, because I wasn't feeling it. I'm still a little angry, but I'm gonna get over it. This too shall pass. And I hope that you guys find the same comfort in this information. It's a little early. I typically don't like doing transits this early because it's hard to move away from that faith that you just got from this, but I'll be reposting this over and over again as many times as I need to, personally, for myself, to just remind me that, anything that I can't see right now is going to come to me, and for you too. Family, I love